Okay, I wanted to cover both of these in a single video, instead of making two separate videos. But both of these situations are getting worse. I want to start off by saying that I don't want to go into this purely, like, shitting on Mr. Beast. Uh, but I will definitely be saying my opinion in full. And again, this is not news. This is not a news source. This is just my opinion and everything like that. One, the Ava Tyson situation has gotten, oh my god. At first, I was like, there's a lot of muddied waters here. I'm gonna make a video on it because there's also a lot of like transphobia and shit, and that's not cool. Regardless if the person is a piece of shit. And yeah, person, she is a piece of shit. Like, full stop. Everything that she has done, reprehensible, right? Like, there has now been new stuff that has come out. But there's even more muddied waters because a supposed sibling has come out, and then people have been like, that's not her sibling. But then also people are like, that is her sibling. But also it's like, that doesn't matter because their sibling is transphobic and just trying to make shit worse when shit's already worse. I don't think you have to make things worse, right? So yeah, there was all of that, right? And then there was everything that has to happen with Shadman that came out, where not only was I wrong about there being, it was like a smash mouth situation. Because again, in that video, I was like, maybe it was like this. But I led with saying like it just in general it's not a good look. Yeah, no, straight up just buy a bunch of prints of pedophilia art. And not only is it pedophile art, it's also race fetishization art too. So that's fucked up. um and then on top of that, there was the ex-employee that said that she got sexually harassed, and that's still something that's coming out and everything like that. And then Mr. Beast came out and was like, I find all of this reprehensible and everything. Dude, you knew. Like legit, you knew. That's not even like a question if he knew or not. That is a fact that he knew. You can see old videos where he was looking at the art of a child. Like, what? You knew. Literally, everything that he is saying now is just one of those things like covering it up. Like, now I'm not saying that Mr. Beast is a pedo, right? Like, that is not what I'm saying. But being complicit in knowing that your friend is like this is not a good look. And for a long time, before any of this came out, and especially before old shit resurfaced, I was really proud of Ava for what had happened to her, right? She had gone from a person who was like the typical, almost like stereotype of like dude bro, right? And then obviously now we find out that like that was because she was hiding who she was and had to like put on a character and everything. And I felt really bad for her with that, right? And as that, because that's a very common story with a lot of trans people, right? And then having her transition and being happy and then everything like that. And then obviously being much more in tune with her son's life. One of the things that a lot of people critique her about was that you're like, oh, you abandoned your son and everything like that. But then they're quiet whenever she posts pictures, right, of her with her son, and then have to kind of move the goalpost, right, and complain about something else that's wrong with it or whatever. But now finding out all of this, it kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, god damn it. Because people are going to take this, and then they're going to run with it, and then they're going to run and say that it's everyone, every trans person. It's, oh, look at this. Oh, don't mind, the two straight people that came out, and now the one trans person that came out, they're pedophiles, right? Don't mind, like, the five plus pedophiles that came out that were YouTubers that were all straight guys, and, oh, but now the one trans girl comes out and is now a pedophile, too. Yeah, that's wow. And man, yeah, I think I'm just going to have to make these two separate videos. This isn't going to be very long, but yeah, man, it really does suck to see all the constant vileness surrounding Ava. And, like, do not get it twisted, right? I'm saying this right now, clear as day, right? I do not support pedophiles. I do not agree with any of the bullshit that she did, right? I think it is vile. I think it is reprehensible. I am saying what Jimmy said, but I am actually believing in it, right? And because that shit's not cool, right? Age of consent is 18, all right? You're a legal adult at 18, all right? I know it's different in certain places, but a lot of times those are having to do with very circumstantial things, right? And in other countries where it is an active part of discourse that it is wrong for it to be so young, right? People often bring up this, like, oh, it's 13 in Japan. Those are only in certain provinces and in certain districts and so on, and they are very heated debates of it should be moved up to 18 like it is in the rest of the world. And that culture is constantly going through a lot of shifts and changes and viewpoints of how they view things like this. Not to say that it is right in any regard, but it's one of those things where, like, you'll see people come out with a lot of, on a lot of allegations, right? Like, I know a long time, not recently, the mangaka for Wadasuki, or is it that their name? I forget. Came out, and, like, everything about them came out, like, being a hardcore pedophile, right? But, like, you had a lot of people, like, supporting them even after all the allegations were confirmed, because it's one of those, like, work culture things where you kind of have to keep face on the surface, even if deep down you don't. You're like, fuck this guy, right? You kind of have to say what your publisher or what your HR guy or whatever is saying, right? And because that's just kind of one of those things, like, he's not saying the popular thing, or he's not being nice. Oh, that's not good. But yeah, it's crazy. I've been really disappointed to see a lot of stuff come out with just so many people, and just kind of saying that, one, I've seen a lot of people, like, defend Ava, but which you should not be defending her whatsoever. Like, my original video was not defending whatsoever. It was an advocacy for not being transphobic and being a piece of shit in that way whenever somebody's also being a piece of shit. But beyond that, it was 100% being like, no, this shit's fucked. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't be a piece of shit in the comments, okay? There was a single person in the last time that was Just don't. Try and add something actually to the discourse and not just have it be predicated and rooted and being like, oh, well, they're trans. Oh, she's trans. That must mean she's a pedophile. That's the reason why she's a pedophile. When, no. Two things can be true at once, and two things can be unrelated. So, that's like being like, I'm an alcoholic. Or like a guy's like an alcoholic, like being like, he's an alcoholic and a pedophile. The alcohol is why he's a pedophile. No. No. That's two things can be true, but two things can also be separate and unrelated. Anyway, click.